Hello and welcome. This is the Tiffany's Fitness Podcast. My name is Tiffany, and this week's guest is the lovely, the wonderful Val Rodrigon. She is a badass athlete and body researcher, and she's also one of my former clients, this is the first time I've had one of my former clients on as a guest, and that's really cool. You can find her on Instagram and on her website. You can find those linked in the show notes. And just some housekeeping, we had several connection, Wi-Fi, Zoom issues during this recording. Going between Colorado and Chile apparently just wasn't it for us and our Wi-Fi's. So I have edited these like weird things out as much as my skills allow, but if you notice some choppiness at any point, or if you're watching some frozen screens, that is why. They're pretty quick, and I think I did do a pretty decent job of cleaning it all up, but I just wanted to give you all the heads up, and that is all I've got for now. Enjoy the show, and I'll check back at the end.
Do my best. So where are you exactly? Because I know you were gone because you were going to
My
school because
home?
you did all your research. No, your home, but like where? Where is your
Yeah,
home?
like this is my bed. I'm at
Okay,
home.
this
This
is
is
my
my
living
bed.
room. Yeah, no, I got like I'm not like your which country are you in? Because the listeners don't know where you're from.
Yeah, I'm in Chile. I'm
Yeah,
based in Santiago. That's the capital of this country. And I'm
yeah.
speaking to you. I live in downtown, so we're
Hmm.
like very in the center of the city. And this is my
That's
home.
cool.
This is where I work.
Where
This is where I live. This is where I spend the pandemics. This is where I train. This is like, yeah,
this is it. Because
this
you
is it.
because you went somewhere for your school because you went to a school to do your research, right? Because you did a big research project on like toxic fitness. Where did you go
I'm
for
doing
that?
that. I'm doing that
You're still doing
now.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm doing that now. That's a project funded by the Ministry of Culture here,
Oh,
and it's a
cool.
research project that lasts 1 year. So we started about 2 months ago, and it's going
Hmm.
to last until next year.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, that's very awesome. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, lots of people who see me on Instagram don't know that, but I have a PhD in philosophy of technology. So that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Besides training, that's what I do for a living. I am a researcher and a writer, and I
Hmm.
research about the relationships that technology have with the body. So how technologies determine our body, determine how the way we feel, how the way we look, how the way that we interpret bodies,
Hmm.
and etc., etc., etc. And in that context, we won this research fund to see how bodies are represented in Instagram in fitness culture. And we discovered very early on that there is this thing that we call toxic fitness. That is all these
Surprise.
ideas, yeah, all these ideas that you have to be a lot of things, no? You have to be healthy, you have to be strong. And when you're healthy and strong, you have some specific kind of body that goes with it,
Hmm.
and that bodies are really idealized because nobody has that bodies, or maybe two people in the world.
And the
Yeah,
people who you
and
on Instagram don't actually look like the way that they look on
yeah,
Instagram.
actually, yeah, and there is a lot of misconceptions about that. About if you train, you have to look in a certain way, or
Hmm.
if you train, you're supposed to eat, for example, some foods, or and some don't, and
And
some
avoid some
other
foods.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to behave in a certain way, and all those things are very toxic because they leave you with a sense of I'm never enough, I'm never doing enough, I'm not training correctly, I'm not eating right, I'm
Yeah.
not behaving in the way that I'm supposed to behave, my body doesn't look in the way that it has to look. And that creates, like a very yeah, as I said, that leaves a very toxic feeling. And I
Hmm.
think that distances that yeah, that makes a distance with people and training, that for me
Yeah.
as a trainer and as a people who trains, is very bad. It's very bad
Hmm.
because they are thinking all
Yeah.
the time things that are not real, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and people who like when they're coming into like Instagram or something and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna start following a bunch of fitness people because I want to get inspired to train. they're following whatever, like search the fitness tag. It's all, you know, 6-pack abs and
Yeah.
bodybuilders and like professional athletes and like bodybuilders who are like eating a very specific way and starving themselves in a very specific way before shows, who
Yes.
do not look like that all the time. And then
Yeah.
they see those poses and like posing is like a whole thing as well, but like they see
Also,
them.
also posing is a very performative thing that you learn. Bodies
Yeah.
are not performing in that way all the time.
Yeah, like for like
Not
the
even
body,
those
because like I
bodies,
know when
not
I
even
first
those
started,
bodies look like that all the time.
they don't look like that. They
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, exactly. Like, cause like when I first started doing Instagram and following Instagram was, you know, like 7 or so years ago. That's who I followed. I followed bodybuilders and like bikini model, like
Hmm.
those are the people I followed, and uh, it was so hard. Like that's what your brain is like. Well, that why don't I look like that? And
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
look like that. They
yeah,
don't
and
look
also,
like that
yeah,
at
and also,
all.
yeah, they don't look at it, and also, publicity, and not only publicity for brandings, but also publicity for like normal people who are trainers and promote things. Um, they are also using the confusion of the people because there is
Mhm.
a lot of information, you know.
So
So it
much.
creates like a confusion about, okay, so now what do I have to do? And also a strategy that is also very used is the strategy of using people that look very common or that look very normal and had, I don't know how or why, an amazing transformation in like 30 days. You know,
It's always
I
30
learned,
days.
I
It's
learned
30
how to
days
do
or
this
6 weeks.
in 30 days. And now in 30 days, I lost, I don't know, 20 kilos. And then
Oh my
you're like,
god.
whoa, if he or she could, why don't I can? Why
Yeah,
can't
why
I?
can't I? What's
Am I
wrong with
stupid?
me?
Yeah, what's wrong with my body? She could
Yeah.
do that lift in 30 days. She lost 20 kilos in 1 week. How can I? Why can I?
It's always such insane. And then they lost all the weight and their butt stayed huge. Always.
Yeah, always, always. Because if
The
not,
butt
you're not
always looks great.
successful. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if not, you're not successful. And it's always your fault, you know? It's not a
Hmm.
fault of the system. It's not a
No.
fault of genetics. It's not, no, it's always your fault. You didn't have the will, you didn't have discipline. And you know, it's not
Hmm.
like nobody is 100% of the time
No.
disciplined or consistent, or I don't know. Life goes on. Life,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know,
life is
life with,
happening.
yeah, life is happening. Life with all our problems from our quotidianity,
Families and kids
families,
and life and
economic
stress.
issues, work, our heads,
Yeah. My,
you
my
know,
brain is a
like
mess to live in.
our brains, you know, everything is happening. So all that shit about you have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined. It's like, please don't fuck me with that shit, you know? It's like, that's not
Yeah.
true. That's not true.
No, yeah, and also like I think the other thing is when people who are seeing these like professional people like look the way that they do, that's their job is to
Yeah, yeah,
train and look away. Like my job is to work out and to share how to teach how to work out. So
yeah,
like that I don't have to stress about like when I'm gonna get my workout in. I know that I have time in my day to get my workout in. The average person doesn't have that luxury or that flexibility. They're having to
exactly,
get up
exactly.
really early. They're
Yeah,
supposed, or
yeah,
they have to stay up late. They have to work around kids' schedules,
totally.
work
Training is a
schedules.
privilege. Training is a
Yeah,
privilege in our society, you know? Like just having the time
yeah.
to work with your body, to have the time and the space, the
Mm-hmm.
equipment,
The space.
you know, the space, the equipment, the time.
Equipment.
Those are all those things are privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly, you know, like you said, we work in that environment. You know, I train because I like to train, but I also train as a job, as a side
Yeah,
job or as a parallel job of my other job. But that's
yeah.
a thing I do because I have those privileges. Other people
Mm-hmm.
don't. Other people, as you said, you know, other people have to wake up at 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to say to that people? Oh, that means you have to wake up at 3 a.m. to work out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like that's bullshit. That's not realistic. And actually, then comes another mythology because if you wake up at 3, you're not going to rest the ideal 8 hours that you have to rest.
yeah. Because sleep is also like a really big part of training, because if you don't sleep, your
Yeah,
body does not recover and you will
you're
not
not
be
going to
able
have
to lift
energy.
very well or like function as a person throughout the day. Like
Exactly.
because we
Exactly.
all
So
have
you
to like
never,
do
you know,
life as
like it's
well.
always that state that you're never enough. Because
Mhm,
if I wake up too early to train, then I don't have time to sleep.
mhm. Or you have to
If
go
I
to
don't
bed really
sleep,
early
I'm
and you
also not
lose your
doing it
entire
correctly.
evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're never
Yeah,
doing
it's
it fine. You're never doing it fine. I think that's really, really toxic. That's a
yeah,
really, really toxic mentality.
yeah,
And I
it is.
hate that. Well, and the research now is like, like exposing all those things.
Mhm,
Exposing all those things, like just analyzing what kind of bodies are portrayed, what kind of desires do these training philosophies and bodies inspire in other people. I say inspiring not in a positive way, like in
mhm.
different ways. What do those desires set in the minds of the different
Mhm.
people?
Yeah.
So that's the research about, and I don't know, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Yeah,
really good research project.
yeah,
Like
it's cool. It's
you
really
have
cool.
a wealth of places to pull from too. Like
A lot, a
there's
lot.
so much to pull from.
We are making a list, with all the Instagram sites and profiles that we find toxic, and it's like
Oh, it's never ending, I'm sure.
never
I
ending.
like I don't think I think I follow like maybe 3 or 4 people from when I first started because like Instagram, because when I first started I followed everyone.
Mm,
But I had to like slowly but surely like cut
yeah,
people out of
yeah,
Instagram
it's a
because
process
it's
of
making me feel
unfollowing.
bad.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly. I do the same thing
like
when something makes me feel bad. It's like I just
out. It's
out.
gone.
It's gone
Yeah.
out of my life. I'm not going. I
I don't
don't want
need
to
it.
feel like that. I
I
don't
don't
want to
have
feel
yeah.
inadequate. I don't want to feel that my body is not enough. I don't want to feel that I'm not training correctly. I'm doing things fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing like the
You're
best I
doing
can.
great.
I'm
Yeah.
doing the best that I can, and this is it. And if this is not enough, or if this is not good for, I don't fucking care. I'm doing
Yeah.
what I think or what I feel that it's right for me at this point
In
of
your
my life.
body. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And at this point of my life, my training is like very different. It has variated from last year or from other years.
Mhm.
I'm doing kettlebells and functional training like
Mhm.
3 times a week. Other 2 times. Now this year, I'm learning how to lift a barbell and a little
Yeah.
bit of calisthenics because I want to
Fun.
I want to make my first pull up. I want to get my
Yeah.
first pull up, and I want to also be able to do a handstand
Yeah.
without support. That's those are my new goals. And
Those are great goals.
yeah, and I'm doing also some CrossFit style things other days of the week. So, but this
Yeah.
is what I'm doing now, this makes me feel good now. This is what I found
And it
entertaining
can
now, because
change.
for me entertaining is very important, that I have a good time,
Yeah.
that I have time to explore things with my body, to put my body in different zones, to
Mhm.
explore things that are new to me, that maybe are difficult but are new,
Yeah.
those things for me are like super important, and like the core of what I think is the sense of training for me.
Yeah, finding it's and like I think a lot of times people feel like they have a thing that they're supposed to do and then that's like all they can do. But training can be whatever you want it to be. Your goals can and like probably should change. Like you
Yeah.
can change what you want to do like and shift your goals cuz like for me I really like 4 or 5 years ago, my only goal was to do kettlebell sport. And
Hmm,
since then, my goals have changed and now I'm
totally.
doing a lot of bent pressing and that's
Hmm,
totally fine. Like
that's
I
totally
can
fine.
you can find the things and I like not that I don't still love sport. But like I can't
Yeah,
I you can it's
prioritizing other things
yeah, and
right now.
that's fine. You
That's
can
super
change
fine.
your
And
goals. There's
also,
no
and
rules.
yeah, totally. And also another thing that I find very interesting, training without having any goals,
Yeah, that too.
you know?
You can just train.
Maybe just, yeah, just train because I want to move.
Yeah.
I want to move. I want to explore, and these things make me feel fine. You know,
Yeah.
like for example, last year I remember. Did we train together last year, or was it
Yeah.
last year?
It was last year.
It was last year.
It was
Yeah.
last
So
year.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like
We
it was
trained
like until you left because you weren't like
until I
so
left. Until I left to Portugal. Until I left to
Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah.
That's where you went. I was trying to
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
wasn't
went to
sure if this
Portugal to do
research was
another
attached.
research. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was for another research. That
Yeah,
was
you
for
went to
different
Portugal.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first half of my year, my goal was to be able to do 10-minute snatch. You remember? That
Mhm.
was my goal. But
Yeah.
after that, I was like, okay, now I can do 10 minutes of snatching. I got,
Mhm.
I think, pretty good at them.
Yeah.
Um, I found the records, and I
Mhm.
actually was like, I broke the record.
You
So
were yeah,
it
you
was
were up there. You were doing
it
great.
wasn't official. It wasn't official because I didn't compete, but I broke the record, so I think it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. And after
Yeah.
that, I said like, okay, so that I completed my goal for the year, and
Did you
now
think?
I don't have a goal.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, to get like three strict presses with 20 kilos. Maybe that would be a cool goal, or maybe to get like push-ups because I couldn't do a strict push-up.
Mhm.
Maybe though,
I
but
remember.
like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
were like my goals.
Just gonna
And
go. Mhm.
yeah, and at the end of the year, after completing the 10 minutes of snatching, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, did I completed my other goals? And it was like, no.
No. And that's okay.
No. And I remember I made a video, like you don't always get what you want. You don't always complete your
No.
goals. And that's also fine. Because also
Mhm.
those are other, like very toxic rhetorics. Everything that you set your mind into, you're going to achieve. You just have to dream it. Dream it and
Mhm.
achieve it. That's so bullshit.
Yeah.
There are limits. There are limits. You are not going to get everything always what you dream of, and also there is also fine that you don't get your goals. That's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is
And
welcome
even
to
if you
life.
don't get your goals, like, it's not like it still didn't benefit you. Like practicing
Totally.
your push-ups and practicing your pressing wasn't like bad for you.
No
And
at
those
all.
things definitely are helping you now for your pull-up goals and your other goals that you're working
Totally.
towards.
Yeah, and actually I didn't completed those goals like last year, but I
Mhm.
completed other goals
Yeah.
that were not in my mind. I also learned a lot of things that I wasn't thinking that I was going to learn. And now this year, without having those goals, I completed them. Now I am able, like yesterday I tried and I did 5 push-ups, 5 strict, and I was like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah. That's
I passed
great.
the barrier of the 3. Whoa, yay! I surprised myself. And I think, like being able to surprise yourself with movement. Oh my God. I think that's the best thing.
Mhm.
When you can surprise yourself with your body. Whoa, I couldn't do this before. Now I can. And it feels different. Now I'm moving
Yeah.
differently. I can press the thing that before in my mind was totally impossible.
Impossible. Yeah.
And now it's possible. And now it's possible. And now I can. And now I
Mhm.
can because that was impossible for me. Because for other people, it's like, oh yeah, I pressed 20 kilos in 1 week. Or oh,
Yeah.
I could do snatches in I don't know 1 month. Well, that's okay, good for you. It took me 1 year. For me, it took me 1 year. But it's like good for you.
Well, and that's the other thing with like Instagram as well is people see the highlight reel. They see just like they see the good parts. And people come onto my page and I've been training kettlebells for what 7, 8 years. So they see
Totally,
me and they're
yeah.
like they see me doing good stuff and they're like, oh man, I want to do that. And then they try it and they don't get it because I've been doing it for a really long time.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
so obviously I'm going to be better. I have thousands of reps on you. And so like knowing that like what you're seeing online is only part of it. And like I train for what like 30 to like 2 hours, 30 minutes to 2 hours most days.
Hmm.
I'm posting maybe 5 minutes of it. like
Yeah.
maybe 5 minutes of it. And so like you're seeing, even when I'm trying to post everything, you're still only seeing a fraction of the things that are happening. Um, and so you can't compare what people are doing online to what you're doing, because it's going to be different. And also, like, maybe what I'm doing isn't what you're going to be good at. like there are
Totally.
lots of things that I'm terrible at, like
Yeah.
pull-ups.
Yeah.
I can't do freaking pull-ups, and that's okay. It's not something I care
That's
about.
okay.
But like you'll see people doing pull-ups or whatever, or you'll see me doing snatches. Like, yeah, that's the thing I'm good at. I can do bent presses, I
Totally.
can snatch.
Yeah, because
um
everybody's are different. Everybody is
yeah, you have
different.
to
Everybody
find.
has different abilities. Everybody
Mhm,
trains for a different goal, you know, like when my
mhm,
goal was to get a 10-minute snatch, that training is not the same training that I'm doing now to get a pull-up, because there are different
yeah.
muscles involved, you know,
There's
there are different
it's and it's like
mobilities involved.
endurance versus like strength. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a different, it's a
totally.
whole lot of different things. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times you come online and people are like, why can't I do that? It's like there's so much more going into it than
Yeah,
just
there is a
what you're
specific training for
saying.
that, you know, there is a
Yeah.
specific training for different kind of goals. But what you're saying, regarding clients, that also happens to me, you know, like
Hmm.
I get a lot of people that want to train with me, because, oh, I want to do the cool stuff that you do. And it's like, yeah, maybe you will be able to do them, but as you said, I'm
And you have to do
training
the
this.
boring stuff.
Yeah, you have to do the boring stuff. And you have to lift a lot of times and for a
Yeah.
long period of time. You know, you have been training kettlebells for 7 years. I have been doing kettlebells now for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, but still, it's like 4 years, not for weeks, not for days.
Yeah.
You know,
Years.
and I'm doing this like almost daily.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not going to achieve this, coming to train with, if you come to train with me once a week and for 1 month. You know,
Yeah.
that's impossible. That's not even like,
You have to
no,
be
no.
patient.
You have to be
But
patient. You have to invest time. Yeah,
and that's not possible for all the people either. So you just
of
have
course.
to like
Yeah,
work within what your abilities are,
yeah,
and
and
do.
possibilities of time, of
Yeah.
money, of space.
Hmm.
What we talked earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it all it all matters. And that's and you don't see all of that part of it
Hmm.
when you're just focusing on what you see on the internet.
Yep.
There's so much there's so much happening.
Yeah, as we said, life, life is
Hmm.
happening all the time. You know, and life is very complex. Life is very difficult and very complex and
How
very
did
dense and
you?
very boring also. So
Oh yeah, no, yeah. How did you like get into this like training and coaching and kettlebells? Like how did you get into that?
specifically with kettlebells, I started 4 years ago in the pandemics.
Mhm. Yeah.
Before that, I was doing CrossFit. I was doing
Hmm.
CrossFit like for maybe 3 months before the pandemic started. And before that, I did like yoga, and my background comes from physical theater. So that
Hmm.
was like my first experiences with movement.
Yeah.
So after that, as I said, before the pandemics, I was doing CrossFit. And then like pandemics, COVID started. We had to be inside
Same side.
our homes. Yeah, be inside. And the coaches from the CrossFit, they started to offer trainings through WhatsApp or through Zoom,
Hmm.
you know, the different apps. But I didn't have any equipment here at home.
Yeah.
And when I did CrossFit, I did some things with kettlebells, but I didn't put many attention on them. And when I started to look to buy something for to train here at home, dumbbells were, I don't know why, but they were totally expensive. So we didn't
Yeah.
have the money to buy a dumbbell. And suddenly a publicity of kettlebells appeared in my computer, and kettlebells were super cheap at the
Yeah.
moment here. So I think, okay, I will buy a kettlebell. And I started looking for some things in the internet, and I saw that you could do a lot of things, or in maybe more, and a lot of
Hmm.
more things that with the dumbbell. So I thought I will buy a kettlebell. And I bought my first kettlebell, this the red kettlebell, the 12-kilo kettlebell.
Yeah.
And I started training with that. And very soon I realized that kettlebell training was like a whole world in itself,
Mhm.
and that there were lots of different styles and kind of things that you could do with a kettlebell. So it wasn't only a tool for functional training or for CrossFit, that you could also do juggling, that you could also
Yeah.
do, I don't know, choreographies, or
Mhm.
strictly strength training. And I found that really, really amazing. So
Mhm.
I started to find information and to follow people that were training with kettlebells. I was super excited. I wanted to learn more. And after less than a year that I started practicing with kettlebells, I decided I want to get certified.
Mhm.
So I looked in the internet what kind of certifications are there for kettlebell coaches, and I found one. So I trained for that, and then I got
Yeah.
my certification. And from that point on, I have trained until now almost and mostly with kettlebells.
Mhm. Yeah, you did the IKFF with Steve Cotter, right?
Yeah,
That's what your certification
yeah,
is. Because
that's my
I guess when we first
certification. I
started
did level
talking,
one. I did level one. Yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to get the other levels, but then I
So I
found
think
it's
I'm
just
pretty
like
sure that's when we
money.
started chatting.
It's money, it's only money,
Yeah,
and I
it's
can't do the things, so I don't think it's necessary to spend
yeah.
more money in that. No.
A lot of certifications are just like constantly giving money. It's like an insane amount of money. It's so
Yeah,
expensive.
it's a
It's
lot of
so
money. And
expensive to be a coach.
for example now, yeah, and it's a lot of money. And for example, now I'm physically able to do what is required for level 3. I did that at home, like a few weeks
Mhm.
ago. I can do level 3, but if you want level 3, you have to pay for level 2.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's super absurd, and I'm not going to do that.
No, no,
No.
no. Yeah. It's all certifications I know are good, but also sometimes they feel a little much. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm super
it's just
happy that I did the
they're just
first one.
really
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
super happy that I did the first one, like to prove myself and to have, like a certification. That's good. But I think I'm not going to invest more money in that. Not right now.
No,
No.
no, yeah. How did you stumble into doing sport? Was it from the certification that you were like, let's
No, I
snatch
think it was because of
for 10
you.
minutes?
Not into sports. Yeah,
Oh,
because of you. Because I started following you. Yeah, I
oh.
started following you, and I was one of those clients, like, I want to do the cool stuff that Tiffany does.
I got so excited that you found sport through me that the computer was like,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, I was one of those clients, like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do what Tiffany does.
Yeah,
So I contacted
yeah.
you.
You're like, I'm going to the beach this weekend. Show me how to juggle.
Yeah, I was one of those people. So I watched you and I said, "Oh, that's very cool." And also when I contacted you, I think I just did my certification at that time. I was like just
Yeah, it
finished
was like
or no,
right
or maybe
around
it was
there.
like I was
Mhm.
almost going to get that. I don't know. But I remember I was really stuck with the snatches, because I
Mhm.
was like, there is something I have the strength, I have the stamina, I have the
Mhm.
resistance in my body to do. I had to do 60 snatches in a row,
Mhm.
but I just can't. And I know it's something related to technique.
Mhm.
I know that. And the coach that I had
Mhm.
at that moment here in Chile, it was a very toxic coach. I don't recommend him. I'm not going to say his name because that would be recommending him, and I'm not going to do that. But he was a really toxic person. And he was like, always, no, you just have to lift the thing, just lift the thing.
Mhm.
And if you're strong enough, you're going to get it. And I was like, man, no, I'm sure that's not it. I'm sure it's some little
There's
technical
something.
thing that it's not working. And I remember we did a form check with you.
Yeah,
And
we
that
did like
was
a
like,
video.
Yeah. I sent you a video, you sent me a video back,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, yes. It was exactly what I thought. It's a technical thing that I'm not getting. I got the recommendations.
It's always
that you
something
sent me.
small. It's
It
always
always
something
it was something small. Of course, at the
small.
moment it was
When
something
you've done a
small.
bunch of reps.
Yeah. And I actually I corrected the thing that was wrong, and I got very easily to the 60 reps. And after that, I was like, okay, if I got so easily, then let's do 100 reps, or let's do, I don't know, 200.
Let's do 10 minutes.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then you said, wow, there is a thing called kettlebell sport in which you do actually 200 reps or more.
You do.
Why not? And you can snatch for a long time. And I was like, okay, let's do that. Let's try that. So that's how I got into sport. And I think at the moment it was like super fun. What I like the most is like after 6 minutes of snatching, you get into a very meditative state.
Yes.
You know, like, whoa, it's like just you just have to move and breathe.
You zone in.
Yeah, move and breathe, move and breathe. And there are some spirals going on, and you flow, you know, with a kettlebell like a prosthetic thing. It's, I don't know, it's very beautiful. I found that very beautiful to found that that state in my body. So I think that was very interesting, and I liked it a lot.
That's the best part of snatching. It's the best part is when you find that like zone. Like,
yeah,
there's a
it's
point,
like an alternative
an
alternative state of the mind, and I can speak correctly. Alternative state of consciousness. Yeah, that's what I want.
Consciousness mind, either way it works. Yeah, it is. It's like there's a point in snatch where it's hard, but once you you kind of can zone in, and like that's why I think music is such an important part of lifting too, for me at least, is I can you just use that, you breathe and don't think. There's no thoughts, and you just do it. And if you don't think, you can't talk yourself out of it. You can just do the thing, because I think that's the wall that people hit with snatch, is they hit that wall of like your brain being like, this is very hard, we should stop doing this thing, and they don't. If you don't push through that, you're just going to be stuck there. But if you keep going, there's this point where you don't feel anything. You just are doing it, and it's
you
great.
you just flow with it. You just flow with it, and it's like it feels great. It feels great. Yeah. But then it comes to pain again. Then the pain
it comes back around. It comes back around. It's a circle.
It's a circle. But there is a whole long time in that circle, you know,
where it feels awesome.
When it feels awesome. When it feels awesome. And I haven't found that feeling. You know, I said to you, I told you that I did yoga for a long period of time, for lots of years, and I never find that kind of meditation in yoga as I found it in kettlebell snatching.
Yeah.
Really.
There's like a really good Zen moment in there, and like you can just train sets where you just get that. Like if I train like 4 minutes, the whole set feels like that, and it's perfect.
I think 4 minutes is like the perfect time.
It feels, the whole set feels good. I can go super fast, and the whole set will feel good. Once we go over that, I have to like think a little bit more about like how I'm gonna pace, and like how I'm gonna like.
No, but 4 minutes is the perfect amount of time. 4 minutes is like the perfect amount of time.
It feels great the whole time. Yeah. You can just breathe. You can go fast. You can have fun, and it's awesome.
Perfect. It's awesome. And also, I remember once you gave me in the training 20 minutes snatching, but with the 8 kilo. That was also
yeah. When you go super light for you, and then you go for such a long time, that's also There's a special amount of Zen going with like a weight that's like half of your working weight too. Yeah. You're just like, oh, I can do this, and
this like forever.
Also, like, you have to be
like, I can do this forever.
But some people hate that workout because it's a long time, and seeing 20 minutes of work. Because I don't give that workout to everyone, because a lot of people would murder me if I gave 20 minutes of snatch.
But it has to be with a very light belt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a super lightweight workout. It's a workout you don't do at the beginning of a training.
Yeah.
Like it's not. That's a lot. That's a like you've done 10 minutes several times sort of workout. But it's so fun because it's light, and you're just like, oh, like this is like less than half of what I'm typically lifting.
It feels
I can
amazing.
do this forever.
Forever.
Like I can just keep going.
Yeah.
I've done like 30-minute snatch sets with a one arm switch, and
Whoa.
it's so fun. Like you're just like, well, I can just.
I think I did the 20 minutes, but with multiple hand switches.
Yes,
With
that's
3 or
awesome
4,
too.
you know, like it was awesome. And actually, I remember
great.
when I did those 20 minutes, I had this tattoo done before that. It's like a spiral thing.
Right on your forearm.
Yeah. And when I was snatching, you know, when I was doing those 20 minutes, you know, I suddenly realized during those 20 minutes in that twilight zone, it was like, oh my God, I tattooed the snatch movement in my wrist. Because this is really what the snatch does, you know, like it goes up, you know, like very openly. And then you do this.
And then you
like,
compress.
You close your arm like this, and it makes this. It goes
like, and then you're in your backswing,
and then it opens in the back, and it was like,
that's great.
Oh my God, I tattooed the snatch. That's
That's amazing. Having intense moments of realizations in the middle of very long snatch sets. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that was really awesome. That was really awesome.
That's great. Yeah, that's a fun workout. I haven't done a long snatch set in a really long time. I think I should.
Me neither. Maybe I should too.
Yeah, we should. We should do that. We'll do that. I'm gonna do one. Because I can't do like a lot of I can't do super long sets of snatching and then also bent press because my body is not a fan.
Yeah, it looks a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So you gotta find I'll do it on a light work week so I can do it all. I can do it all.
I would love that so much, you know, like to have a lot of time and that my body could do everything, you know. I would love so much to be able to do 10 minutes snatch one day, and then the other day, I don't know, today I will experiment handstand training.
Your
and then,
barbell
then pull-ups, and then with the barbell. But the body doesn't resist. I'm also very old. No, I'm not that old, but I'm 43 years old. So my body is not the same as it was in my 20s. It's not the same.
Yeah, you have to start. I know. I've been doing a lot of interviews with like I did an interview with like a 20. He's like 20, and he's like I'm just doing everything, and I'm like, do it now, do it now while you can.
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah, you got a few more years before your body goes. Nah, son, you gotta make choices.
Totally. Because it comes a point when I was talking about that with my other coach the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It comes a point when there is always something that hurts.
I slept bad last night, and my shoulder's a little bit tweaky.
It's always. You can't be without any pain.
It's the most annoying.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing. Like, why?
Yeah. I slept like this, I think, and so like my shoulders really tight. I was doing presses today, and I was like, so,
it doesn't
I did like extra. I didn't want to. I had to do a bunch of extra like stretching on my right arm, and I was doing like bottoms up presses, and I was like, why is this so hard? And I was just like, why am I so sore? I think I was just sleeping, like, I don't know, in a weird position.
But it's also aging.
My husband's gone.
It's also
just sleep like
aging.
this. Yeah, that too.
It's also called aging.
Yes. I don't think I have too many like agey issues because like if you move a lot, I think that helps a lot with a lot of those issues.
It does because if you didn't move, it would hurt more.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's like if you're what is it, like just not moving at all, you're things hurt more. So moving
Totally.
is going to, it helps the body.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like super strenuous movement. You don't have to do the weird crap that we're doing. You just have to do
Of
something.
course. We are doing really weird stuff.
We're doing really weird stuff.
We're doing really
I'm
weird
doing, my main training is an old timey strongman lift. Like, that's a weird thing to do.
but I love
Or
that.
endurance weightlifting. Like, who's doing that? But you can go on a walk and that's gonna help your body. You don't have to,
Totally.
and I think also like you don't have to go all or nothing. I think that's another thing with like people seeing online is they go like all in. And they're like, I'm gonna work out 6 days a week, and I'm gonna work out for 2 hours, and I'm gonna start this big program. And you're like, oh, have you been training? Like, no, this is my first week. And you're like, okay, maybe start with 2 days a week and
Totally. Yeah.
going for half an hour.
Go for a walk. I don't know. Go
Go
for a
for
walk.
a
Just go
walk.
dancing. I
Just
don't
like
know. Do
start the habit. Like you,
yeah.
like I think that like that's like such a big helpful thing when you're just starting training. It's just do something. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to do like a bodybuilder split of an upper, lower, full like leg day. Like you don't have to do that. You can just go for a walk, or you can just do 20 kettlebell swings and be like, cool, I did it. Like that's more than I did yesterday.
Totally.
You can just do a thing, and that's better than
That's
doing
totally fine.
no things.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
You could. You don't have to follow an Instagram influencers of weird like full body split program with their cable machines and their barbells. Like you can just do it.
Yeah, and I also think you're going to get very frustrated if you follow those things because what if you can do those things in 30 days?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to feel very
Yeah.
miserable with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It is not gonna feel great.
No,
You're
it's
gonna get mad and you'll get discouraged. So starting
yeah.
smaller and like slowly leveling up is great.
Mm.
When I first started training, I mean, I came from like an athletic background, so I had a leg up generally.
Mm.
But when I first like got back into working out, I just did cardio stuff. Like I just ran. I ran a bunch. That was like all I did, and then after running a bunch, I added in like body weight squats, and then I added in planks and like core stuff. And then eventually I got my first kettlebell, so I added in like more full body strength along with my running. Like it wasn't like I was all of a sudden doing 6 days a week of weight training. You gotta find where what you can do and just sort of build from it instead of going
and what
hard.
makes you feel good, what are
Yeah.
the level that makes you feel comfortable and makes you
Where we can
feel
find those endorphins.
yep that's the level.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you want to do more and do weird like us, you can do that also, but that's
we
not
would
an
love to have
obligation
you.
for anybody.
No, you don't have to do the weird things. You could just do the simple things, and that's going to be just as effective, maybe more.
Maybe more, yeah.
And that's fine. I just want to do weird things and have fun. That's why I juggle. Like,
yeah. I just want to lift heavy things and feel like a gladiator, but because it feels fine and it feels very weird. But I remember, I had a friend during the pandemics that also, like was like lifting like 5 kilo dumbbells, and she posted a photo of her back in like 2 weeks, and it was like totally muscular. And he was like, "Oh, exercise is giving me results." And it was like, "I'm lifting 20 kilos. My back doesn't look."
Yeah. That's why you can't compare. You can't compare because you're gonna get mad.
You're going to get very mad. You're going to get very mad. Where is she getting those results with 5 kilos? It's like that's impossible. And then of course she's going to get that because she's very skinny.
Yeah, she's very
so
lean.
whatever she does, she can lift 2 kilos. She can lift 2 kilos, and it's going to we're going to notice that because it's going to show because she doesn't have any fat in her body.
And I I was really lean for a little while, and I much prefer being able to eat cookies.
Totally. I
And
much
not
prefer,
being
yeah,
stressed, and not
totally. And
tracking,
have a
because when
social
I
life, you know,
I
have
mean,
a
I don't
normal
have a social
social
life,
life.
but
Yes, because you because you live in a very
but
weird.
in theory,
In
yeah,
theory,
it'd
you
be
could.
great to have.
In theory, you could. If you
Uh, if my husband's home, sometimes we have a social life.
What is social life? Did I have it? Did I have it in some point of my
I
life?
did at one point, but like I being able to like not be like, oh man, I need to like track all of this, and like
Oh
when
my
I
God.
was tracking food like that, it was so like going out to eat and like going out to do stuff was so stressful for me,
Totally.
because I was like, I don't know what they're cooking it in, like I don't know how they're
Yeah.
doing, like
How much
I don't know
oil
how
does
many
this have?
ounces this
Yeah.
is, like
Yeah.
how much
What is
salt
this
and
in my
like
plate?
it was
It's
so
totally stressful.
stressful,
It's
and
totally
it
stressful.
was not fun, and
Mm.
now I can eat and not like be like, oh my
Yeah,
god, this is
I
the end
think
of
it's
the world.
totally valid if you want to do that with your body and for small periods of time. It's totally valid. Everybody can do whatever what they want with their bodies. You
Yeah,
know, it's
do what
like
you
your
want.
body, your choice. You can do
No
whatever.
judgment here.
Yeah, but like, but not for me. I also track
No.
my food for a period of time, but it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I have a social life here. I
It's
like to
really
go
fun for
out
you.
with friends, you know, something that makes me the person that I am. That's like something
Hmm.
that's really important for me, and I'm not going to give that up, you know, like
No, and
it's
you
also part of
shouldn't. Like,
life. Yeah, no. No, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, it's all over. Yeah, I mean, now at the point, all I do, like food wise, is make sure I'm eating enough protein,
Me
because
too.
like that's
Me
the only
too.
thing I can track. And I don't track the calorie. I have like a great little app. I don't track calories. I
Oh,
just
me
track the
neither.
protein.
Me
And so
neither.
that way I know that I'm eating enough so I can
Yeah.
continue to build and get bigger
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stronger. I'm not concerned about like shrinking. I'm more concerned about like I want to be able to lift a very big weight over my
Mm.
face and not
And
die.
actually,
So
at
I
least for me, at least like for my body, the only thing that ever really worked or that I felt that had a specific result was the
Mhm.
protein tracking. Everything else
Yeah.
is like that didn't make any really big difference, you know?
Hmm. I mean, I got really really tiny, but it was not good. It was like
No.
I was little. I was a very little person for a while, but also I was overtraining and I was starving. I was
Yeah, and
so
maybe you didn't feel
hungry.
good, you know, like it's
I
like
didn't feel
maybe
good.
I
I
could
was
be
tired all the
maybe
time.
it could be much smaller, but I think that it would come to a point when where I'm not me anymore, you know, because
Yeah, I was miserable. I
yeah.
was tired. I was hungry. And I was hurt because I wasn't eating enough.
Mm,
Like my body was not fueled for the work that I was putting on it. So
totally.
I was tweaking things a lot more often. Like I'm 31 and I have had less injuries in the last 3 years than I did when I was, 25 and doing all the things, because
Yeah.
I am, one, training a lot smarter because I'm older and I have to, but
Mm,
two, I'm properly fueling my body the way that I need to
yeah,
so I can
that's super
continue
important.
to move my body without hurting myself.
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same thing, and I'm doing the
Have
same thing.
taken, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you just gotta eat the foods and enjoy your life, and yeah. Yeah, well, I've taken up a lot of your evening, and while our Wi-Fi is holding, we should we should go for it. How do people find you on the internet?
In Instagram, my
Hmm.
Instagram account is Cuerpa Salvaje.
Hmm.
Maybe you can write it down then for
It'll be
people.
linked. It'll be linked.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Cuerpa Salvaje. I think it's easy. My account is in Spanish, but sometimes I post things in English for people
Mhm.
like you or other friends that follow me from people from
Instagram like can translate a lot of the things, even if you don't
yeah,
translate it.
yeah.
So
I
they
translated
translate
a
a
lot.
lot of
Yeah,
it.
That's my Instagram, and I have a web page also that is cuerpasalvaje.com.
Cool. We'll have all of that linked so everyone can find you and check you out. And
Yep.
make sure they can find all your stuff and support you. And thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. It was so much fun to talk to you. It's been a minute since we've got to catch up.
It was so
and
fun.
got to hear all about your really cool research.
Thank you.
Keep that up.
And the research it's going to be in Spanish, of course, but I will translate some things. I will translate some things.
Whenever we find that out, when you get that stuff out there, we'll share it for everyone to see. That's awesome. And thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening, and we'll hear you next time. Bye.
Yay!
That was my episode with Val. She is so awesome, and I really hope you liked the episode. Don't forget to follow her on Instagram. That is linked in the show notes, as well as her website. And if you like the podcast, give me a rating, a little 5 stars. That's really helpful for more people to find the podcast. That is all for now, and I will see you next time.